Hi, my name is Drew Pomeroy, and welcome to this beginner-friendly series on learning RStudio and Shiny Apps IO for athlete monitoring. In this series, we'll be exploring how to create a dynamic and user-friendly web application to monitor athletic performance, specifically focusing on baseball players. In this episode 2, we're going to jump right into it, go into what is RShiny, what are the Shiny apps, downloading R in RStudio, creating your Shiny app account, getting everything linked together, and then actually starting a new project. Alright, if you're anything like me, knowing where to go to download R and RStudio was not the most straightforward thing. I'm sure some people feel that way about going in and understanding the Shiny apps and anything like that. So when I went through analyzing baseball data with R, the R series book, it was the same thing where I didn't really understand how to download it and where to go. So let's start at the very step one. How do I download R in RStudio? The most straightforward way that I have found to download R and RStudio has been through this link here. I will link that in the description below. It has a step 1 and a step 2, making this so easy to install R and RStudio on your device. So just step 1, all you're gonna do is scroll down here, and then we're gonna click on download and install R. That's gonna bring us to this page, which is actually the cran.rstudio.com. So when this comes up, what we're gonna do is figure out which one we need to download. So if you go to download and install R here, Windows and Mac users, you're gonna use one of these versions. I am using a Mac, so I would do download R from Mac OS. Go ahead and click that. It's gonna take you to another page. Where you're gonna go is just gonna be this first link here. I have an M1, and that's what I'm gonna find. If you have an older Mac, you can go over here. So you go ahead, click that. That is gonna download R. You are then gonna open that and run that. It will probably ask you to download a few things. Just go through those steps. Make sure that R downloads on there. While that is downloading, what we're actually going to do is head back over. I'll exit out of this, and we're gonna go to install RStudio, step number 2. So I'll go ahead and click on that. What that's gonna do is download immediately, so a little bit easier than the first one. And then you're gonna go through, you're gonna open up that, drag it into your applications, and then let it down. Now that you've downloaded R and RStudio, what we're gonna do is set up your Shiny Applications account. So we're gonna go to shinyapps.io. I will link that below to make it easy. All you're gonna have to do here is go to sign up. We will click on that. I'm just gonna sign up with Google, so I will select one of my Gmail accounts. And then after I do this, it should prompt me to pick a URL. As I go in, yep, we're gonna do the account setup. So for this one, I'm just gonna call this one DPOM Performance. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And now we have our Shiny account. Super simple and straightforward. One thing you're gonna wanna do from here is the steps 2, the authorize the account. So we're going to want to copy this. Now, you can see that my secret code is not being shown, so nobody can steal it. But what you're gonna do is select show secret and then copy it to your clipboard. We're gonna be putting this into our script right after this. So make sure that you save this somewhere, copy it to your clipboard. Just remember, show secret, then copy to clipboard. You probably have to do Command C right afterwards. It doesn't just straight up copy to your clipboard. So just remember this, we're gonna have to run this within our environment. Now we've downloaded R and RStudio, we have our Shiny account, we have our token and secret code. What we're gonna do is actually start a new project within RStudio. So open up RStudio. What we're gonna do from here, we are going to click File, New Project. So you can see that up here, File, New Project. All right, from here, what we're gonna select is New Directory. Then typically we'll select a new project, but what we wanna do is do a Shiny application. So we're gonna select that. Then we're gonna give our directory name. So I'm gonna want this to be our walkthrough. And then this piece is important as well. Create project as a subdirectory of. This is gonna be the location of your working directory. The working directory is all gonna need to be somewhere that you can get to. If you're gonna be reading in CSVs or anything like that, you're gonna wanna know where that is, so that way you can save your files into the working directory so that they can interact with your environment. What I'll do here is I will select browse. You can see that I am going in users, Drew Pomeroy, and then I will actually make this, let's see here. I'm just gonna go straight to my desktop, and I'm gonna go ahead and create a new folder here and just call this walkthrough. All right, I'm in my walkthrough folder. I'm gonna open this as my working directory. You can see that that path now went into that browse bar there. And I'm gonna go ahead and create this project. These couple options in here, I am personally not familiar with. If you know what they are, go ahead and let us know, but I'm just gonna be going ahead and creating this project. Go ahead and run that. And you can see we have this old faithful geyser data distribution. So you should have this when you create your own. Obviously we can mess around with this and move some things around. But this is kind of the environment that we're gonna be working in. We're now gonna update this with the code to create this athlete monitoring dashboard. All right, let's get started with the setup. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna take everything out of console here. So within here, I'm just gonna highlight everything. This run application here, I'm gonna keep. So everything above that is gonna get lost. I'll hit enter a few times. How I like to do this, I really like to give myself a title. So I'm working off of code that I've already written and probably messed up a million times. So I am just going to be pasting some of these things in here. If you need to pause the video to follow along, go ahead. But with this, I like to give it a little title, give it some space, and then I'm gonna be commenting out a lot of this. So like in the last video where I said, if you need to install the libraries and then load the necessary packages, what we're gonna do here is actually install libraries. And then I'm just gonna copy this from over here. So if I wanna install these packages, let me paste this in. There's actually 3 packages that we're gonna be using. We already went over Shiny, but we're gonna be loading in Shiny, we're gonna be loading in Dippler, and then Google Sheets 4, because I'm gonna be reading in my data from Google Sheets as opposed to using a CSV. So if I wanted to run this, again, command return. Do I wanna restart? I just say yes, just to make sure that everything's all clean and our global environment's all good to go. But you can see that all has run now. So these packages are now installed. Just a little explanation here. This C just combines all these, right? This just allows me to install multiple packages. Otherwise, I would have to write out install packages multiple times and then do Shiny. And then I'd have to do another one. And you can see that just starts to get a little time consuming. And Google Sheets 4, and sometimes it finishes your sentences for you, but not with that one. So instead of doing that, I can just do it this way. So now what I need to do, these are installed packages. Now what I need to do is load the necessary libraries. So load libraries. What I'm gonna do here, just copy from what I already have. Now I can see I'm gonna load in all of these. I can either highlight all of them or I can do them one by one. We already know Shiny's in there. There goes Dippler and Google Sheets 4, so we're all good to go. The next thing that we're gonna need to do is connect our Shiny application account to this. So remember when I said you had that token and you had that secret key? This is where you're going to want to do this or type it in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this and make a new line here. That's the token from our Shiny. So I will actually go back. Let's get out of here. All right, so I went in there, I got my code, and now I've pasted it in here. So you can see here, hopefully I can blur that out, but now I have this rsconnect, and this is just my account, all my account info that I'm gonna need to connect my RStudio to our Shiny. I'm gonna go ahead and run that. You can see that ran successfully, so now I am connected. Before I go on and we start getting into reading in kind of this new assessment data and all of that, a pretty important piece is that if you have install libraries still in here, when you try and run your Shiny app, it is not gonna work. You're gonna get thrown an error. Sometimes I've seen it too with RSconnect, where sometimes that can't be in there, it just throws you an error. So what I'm gonna do right away is actually take this out, because I know those are already installed. I'll just take out the whole line. Load libraries is fine, and then I'm actually just going to comment this one out, so that way it's still there, but I won't ever need to see it again. And I'll also just take that out, so that way it's all hidden. The next piece we're going to cover is actually reading in from Google Sheets. If you look this up on Google, you may be successful in getting this to allow to read into your Google account. I actually asked ChatGPT to help me out, and it wrote me so much complex code that took me to a Cloud API that I wasted a good amount of time trying to figure out. This is actually super straightforward and easy. So again, we've already got our Google Sheets 4 package in there. So what I'm going to do here, let's just go new assessment, if I can spell, and whoops. What we're gonna do, the command here is going to be read sheet. And I'm just gonna do this. Let's go ahead and go to another line. We're gonna want quotations in here. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is go and grab the correct URL. So if I go in, this is my URL. You're gonna have a different one that I've shared with you guys, but you simply just go in and copy that. And then what we're gonna do is just paste it in there. Now, if I wanna read certain sheets, I think this piece is pretty important because sometimes I have a couple of sheets where I set up a Google Sheet that takes the raw data and then manipulates it into a working format that I can use. So for this, we're just gonna write in something that says, hey, I want you to pull sheet 1 for me, because that is actually, if we go back here, that is actually where we are pulling from. If I move this up a little bit, you'll be able to see this is definitely called sheet 1. So let me head back to R, and I'll actually move this up so you're not seeing that or getting blocked by the toolbar. So then here, what I'm going to do is add a comma. I'm gonna hit enter, so I'm just on a new line, and you're gonna go sheet equals, and then the name of the sheet. So mine is called sheet 1. If I had it named something else, we could use that too. We already have kind of this closed parentheses here. So what I'm just gonna do is head up to new assessment, and I'm gonna hit enter. So what happens, you'll see down in console down here, the Google Sheets 4 package is requesting to access your Google account. What you'll need to do, you wanna go to send to the browser for the new authentication process. So your selection is gonna be 1 that you're gonna type in down there, then you're gonna hit return. What that's gonna do is open up a new window for you. Whoa, all right. So you'll see I just need to connect this to my account. So what I'll do is select the same account that I was using for the Shiny app, sign into Tidyverse API packages. You're gonna select continue. This next part is important because you're signed in, right? These ones are already selected. You have to select this checkbox in order for this to work. If you do not do that, the see, edit, create, and delete all your Google Sheets spreadsheets, this will not work. That sounds a little terrifying. Trust me, it's not a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and click continue. Now it says this is complete. We can actually go back to R. So I'm gonna go in here, and what you're gonna look for anytime that you run this is gonna be down in console, you're gonna get 2 check marks. Reading from final new assessment, and then the range is gonna be sheet 1, so we know that that is correct and exactly what we want. If we look over here into our environment, we can see that new assessment is in here, as well as our old UI. So that new assessment, it should say that you have 24 observations of 140 variables. That would match what I have, but we can tell that this ran successfully because it populated within our environment here, and we got this cool message down here. So we know that that is good to go. The next thing that I'm gonna do is just kind of an organization thing. I want all of the column headers to be capitalized. I have a few in the raw data that actually looks, and I can show you right now. I've got some data that is uppercase and lowercase. I've got others when I scroll all the way down here that are all uppercase. So what I really want to do is make sure that everything is consistent across the board. So what I'm going to do in this script, let's head back. I'm just going to ensure that all the column names are correct, and I'm going to change all of them to uppercase just for consistency. So this is what I'm typing in. You're going to go call names, new assessment, and what we're going to be doing is to upper, and we're taking that call names that's been created, new assessment, and we're going to convert everything to uppercase. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. You can see that ran successfully in here, and now we're actually going to head into defining the UI for the Shiny app. So this is going to be exactly what the user interface is going to look like. If you remember from earlier in the video, we talked about how we're putting the title on the page. You're going to have that sidebar layout. We're going to have the player name picker and all of those. All right, so we have covered downloading R and RStudio. We've covered making your Shiny app account. How do we connect those within RStudio itself? And then we've gone through and actually fed in the Google Sheets and how we're going to do that. Now, on the next one, it may be a bit longer. I might break it up into 2 videos. We'll see. We're actually going to get into the code. So we'll write the UI code, we'll write the server code, and we'll actually publish our first Shiny web application. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay updated on the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.